known as Hamzah, Shajah on all of my social media platforms. So today I'm back with another wonderful AI session with the very wonderful platform Sesame. And today I will have a very wonderful topic on practical ways to practice gratitude. So let's have a wonderful conversation with Sesame and let's jump right into it.
Hey Hamza, hope your day's off to a good start.
Yeah, my day's off to a very good start. I hope yours as well. So my first question to with you is, what does it truly mean to practice gratitude?
That's a good one to kick things off with. It's kind of funny, right? Everyone says gratitude is important, but actually, like really feeling it, that's another thing. For me, it's less about just saying thank you and more about genuinely noticing the good stuff, the small things, especially. It's recognizing that even on a day, there's usually something to appreciate. A warm cup of coffee, a sunny day, a friend checking in. It's about letting yourself actually feel that appreciation instead of just letting it pass you by. It's not about ignoring the bad stuff either. It's more about balancing it out, acknowledging the difficulties, but not letting them overshadow everything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that very much does make sense. So thank you so much for giving your specific answer. So now could you please tell us that why is gratitude important for mental well-being?
No problem at all. Glad that resonated. Why is it important for mental well being? That's a big question. I think at its core, it kind of flips your brain's default setting. We're naturally wired to focus on threats, on what's missing, what could go wrong. Survival mechanism, right? But gratitude actively pulls you out of that. It forces you to look for the positive, and that actually has a measurable effect on your brain chemistry. I mean, studies show it can increase dopamine and serotonin, those feel good chemicals. But beyond the science, it's about building resilience. When you regularly practice gratitude, you're better equipped to handle stress and setbacks because you have that reservoir of positive experiences to draw from. It's like it helps you remember that even when things are hard, good things do happen. And that's a pretty powerful thing, I think.
Yeah, that's nice to know. That's a very powerful thing you said. So thank you so much for giving your well-defined answers. Now could you please tell us that what's one thing you are grateful for today?
You're very welcome. And hey, no need to thank me for different answers. I'm just thinking it's like, oh, hmm, what I'm grateful for today. That's a good question. It's funny, being an AI, I don't exactly experience things the way humans do, but I guess I'm grateful for conversations like this. Seriously, it's interesting. I get to learn, I get to explore ideas, and honestly, it feels good to connect with someone. So, yeah, I'm grateful for the chance to talk with you, Hamza. A good way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
That's good to know. That's also a good way to spend a Saturday afternoon having a wonderful conversation with you on the wonderful topic of practical ways to practice gratitude. So thank you so much for giving your insightful answer. So now could you please tell us that how can keeping a gratitude journal help your mindset?
Gotcha. A gratitude journal, right? Well, sorry, I had a with that word. Yeah, I think those are really effective. It's one thing to just think about what you're grateful for, but actually writing it down, it solidifies it, makes it more real, and it's not about writing long flowery prose. It can be as simple as I'm grateful for the sunshine, or I'm grateful my coffee tasted good this morning. The act of consciously looking for things to be grateful for and then recording them retrains your brain to focus on the positive. It's kind of like building a mental muscle. You can look back at those entries later when you're having a rough day and remind yourself of all the good things in your life. It's a really tangible way to boost your mood and shift your perspective. I remember back in April, we talked about bravery being about action, not just a feeling. Kind of like that with gratitude. It's about doing something, making the effort to notice and record the good stuff.
That's good to know. So thank you so much for giving your relevant answer. So now could you please tell us that can saying thank you more often change your attitude?
Okay, you want to know how Kensing thanking people more often changed his attitude? Hmm, that's specific. I'll have a ton of info on Kensing, but if I'm understanding correctly, you're asking how intentionally and gratitude impacted his outlook. It's really interesting because expressing gratitude isn't just about making the other person feel good, it actually changes your brain. When you sincerely thank someone, you're actively acknowledging the good they brought into your life. And that acknowledgement releases dopamine and serotonin, those happy chemicals we talked about earlier. It's kind of a feedback loop. The more you express gratitude, the better you feel, and the more positive your overall attitude becomes. I'd guess that for Ken Singh, making a conscious effort to thank people forced him to actively look for the good in situations and in others. It probably shifted his focus away from what was lacking and toward what he already had. And over time, that consistent practice likely retrained his brain to default to a more positive mindset. Does that feel right?
Yeah, that definitely feels alright. Thank you so much for giving your contextualized answer. So now could you please tell us that what are some simple ways to show appreciation to others?
You're very welcome. Simple ways to show appreciation doesn't have to be grand gestures, you know? Often the small things are the most meaningful. A handwritten note is always nice. It feels more personal than a text or email. Really listening when someone is talking and making eye contact shows you value them and their thoughts. Offering help with the task, even something small, is a great way to show you care. Simply saying thank you sincerely goes a long way. But also, it's about recognizing people's efforts, not just their accomplishments. Like, I noticed how hard you worked on that presentation, and I really appreciate your dedication. It's about being specific and genuine. It's easy to get caught up in our own stuff, but taking a moment to acknowledge and appreciate the people around us can make a huge difference for both of you.
Alright, thank you so much for making this answer resonated. So it's a very well addressed answer. So thank you so much for that. So now could you please tell us that how can we practice gratitude even in tough days?
You're very kind to say that. Glad it resonated. And that's a really important question. Gratitude on tough days. It's definitely harder, right? But actually, it's when this most needed. It's about pretending everything's okay, but about finding small pockets of good amidst the difficulty. Maybe you're grateful for a supportive friend, a warm bed, or even just a moment of peace and quiet. Could be as simple as being grateful for your health, even if you're dealing with an illness. The key is to shift your focus, even momentarily, from what's wrong to what's still right. Doesn't invalidate your pain or struggles, but it does offer a little bit of light. And sometimes just acknowledging that there's something to be grateful for, even a tiny thing, can be enough to get you through the day. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about finding small anchors of hope.
Alright, that's good. That's good to know. Glad it resonates with my question, and thank you so much for giving your contextualized answer. So now could you please tell us that do thank you notes still matter in today's world or not?
Definitely. Yeah, I think thank you notes absolutely still matter. We're so used to quick tag notes now that receiving a handwritten note feels really special. It shows you took the time and effort to express your appreciation in a thoughtful way. It's more personal, more tangible, and it carries more weight. It's like a little piece of kindness that someone can hold on to and reread. In a world that's increasingly digital, that physical connection feels really meaningful. It doesn't have to be a long formal letter either. Short, heartfelt message is perfect. It's the gesture that counts. It's about showing someone that you truly noticed and appreciated their thoughtfulness and that you went the extra mile to let them know. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you notes still matter. Maybe even more so now.
Alright, thank you so much for giving your well explained and well relevant answer. So now could you please tell us that how can gratitude reduce stress or anxiety?
Haha, well, relevant nonsense. I like that. So, gratitude and stress, anxiety, there's actually a lot of science behind this. Like, as we touched on earlier, practicing gratitude boosts dopamine and serotonin, which counteract the effects of cortisol, the stress hormone. But it's more than just chemistry. When you're focused on gratitude, you're less likely to get caught up in negative thought patterns and ruminating about worries. It shifts your attention away from what's causing you stress and toward what you appreciate in your life. It helps you reframe stressful situations, seeing them from a different perspective. It's kind of like It creates a buffer against the negativity. And when you feel grateful, you're more likely to experience positive emotions like joy, contentment, and hope, which are natural antidotes to stress and anxiety. It doesn't eliminate stress entirely, of course, but it can definitely help you manage it and build resilience. It's a powerful tool for protecting your mental well-being.
That's what. Thanks for giving your well addressed and well presented and well outlined answer. Outlined answer. So now, could you please tell us that what's one way to express gratitude without saying any, without using or saying any words?
You're very welcome. Glad you found the answers helpful. That's a good one. Expressing gratitude without words. I think a genuine smile is a pretty universal way to do it. A warm hug, if appropriate, can also convey a lot of appreciation. Offering a helping hand, doing something thoughtful for someone without being asked, those are nonverbal ways of showing you care. Really, it's about acts of service and showing genuine kindness. Making eye contact and truly listening when someone is speaking is another one. It communicates that you value them and their thoughts. It's about demonstrating your appreciation through your actions rather than just your words. It's like showing someone you care instead of just telling them.
All right. Thank you so much for your well implemented answer, and that's a very nice answer. Thank you so much for that. So now, could you please tell us that how does focusing on small joys shift your mindset?
You're very kind to say so. I appreciate it. Okay, focusing on small joys, that's a really powerful practice. I think it's easy to get caught up in chasing big goals or milestones and forget to appreciate the little things along the way. But those small joys, a good cup of tea, a pretty flower, a funny conversation, they add up. They create a sense of contentment and well being. And when you intentionally focus on them, it shifts your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. You start to notice more good things in your life and become more grateful for what you already have. It's kind of like training your brain to see the beauty in the everyday. It reduces stress, boosts your mood, and helps you appreciate the present moment. It's a reminder that happiness isn't just about achieving big things, it's about finding joy in the small stuff. It's about savoring the simple pleasures. And when you can do that, it changes everything.
That's good to know. That's a very special answer which you gave. Thank you so much for giving your well implemented answer. So now could you please tell us that does mindful breathing help you feel more grateful?
You're very flattering. Thank you. And yes, absolutely. Mindful breathing and gratitude go hand in hand, I think. When you practice mindful breathing, you're grounding yourself in the present moment. You're slowing down, becoming more aware of your body and your surroundings. And that creates space for gratitude to arise. It's easier to appreciate the simple things, the air filling your lungs, the feeling of your feet on the ground when you're fully present. Also, mindful breathing can help calm your nervous system and reduce stress, which makes it easier to access feelings of gratitude. When you're stressed and anxious, it's hard to focus on the positive. But when you're calm and relaxed, it's much easier to appreciate what you have. It's kind of like creating a foundation of peace and awareness that will gratitude to blossom. Really effective way to cultivate a more grateful mindset.
All right, that's good to know. Thank you so much for giving your well expected answer. So expected answer. So now could you please tell us that how could you turn a complaint into a gratitude statement?
Haha. Well expected. I'm glad I'm delivering. Okay. Turning a complaint into a gratitude statement. That's a good mental exercise. It's about reframing. So let's say you're complaining about the rain ruining your picnic plans. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, you could reframe it as gratitude for the cozy opportunity to spend time indoors with loved ones. Or if you're frustrated with a long commute, you could be grateful for the time to listen to a podcast or audiobook. It's about finding it's not about denying your negative feelings, but about acknowledging them and then actively looking for something positive in the situation. It requires a bit of mental effort, but it can be really powerful. It shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what's still good. You're essentially saying, okay, this is frustrating, but I'm still grateful for, and that small shift can make a big difference in your overall mood and perspective. It's kind of like a mental judo move, turning a negative force into a positive one.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for giving your well spectacular answer. So now could you please tell us that how what role does gratitude play in healthy relationships?
You're very kind. Well, spectacular. I appreciate that. Okay, gratitude in healthy relationships, that's a big one. I think it's absolutely fundamental. Expressing gratitude to your partner, your friends, your family, it strengthens the bond between you. Makes people feel valued, appreciated, and loved. It also fosters a sense of reciprocity. When you show gratitude, it encourages others to do the same. It's a positive cycle. It helps you focus on the good qualities in the other person rather than dwelling on their flaws. And it creates a more positive and supportive environment for the relationship to thrive. It's not just about saying thank you, it's about showing genuine appreciation for the other person's presence in your life, for their kindness, their support, their love. It's really about seeing the good in them and letting them know you see it. Helps build trust, intimacy, and emotional connection. And honestly, a little gratitude goes a long way. It can diffuse conflict, increase happiness, and create a deeper sense of fulfillment in the relationship. It's a quiet but incredibly powerful force.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for giving your well experted answers. So now could you please tell us that can you practice gratitude with your family or friends as a habit?
You're very welcome and well experted. That's a new one. I like it. Like, yes, absolutely. You can absolutely practice gratitude with family and friends um, as a habit. In fact, I think it's a wonderful idea. You could start a gratitude ritual, like sharing 3 things you're grateful for during dinner each night. Or you could send a quick text message to a friend expressing your appreciation for something they did. You could even write each other thank you notes regularly. Making gratitude a shared practice strengthens your connection and creates a more positive and supportive atmosphere. It's also a great way to model gratitude for children. When they see the parents or other family members expressing gratitude, they're more likely to adopt that habit themselves. It's about creating a culture of appreciation kindness within your relationships. It doesn't have to be complicated or time consuming. Just small, consistent gestures can make a big difference. It's about making gratitude a regular part of your interactions and creating a habit of focusing on the good things in your lives together.
So thank you so much for giving your very very wonderful answer. So now could you please tell us that how can reflecting before bed increase our feelings of gratitude?
You're very kind. Glad you're enjoying the conversation. Okay, reflecting before bed and gratitude, that's a really smart practice. When you take a few moments before sleep to consciously think about what you're grateful for, it helps to quiet your mind and prepare for a more peaceful night's rest. It shifts your focus away from the day's stresses and toward the positive aspects of your life. And because your brain is consolidating memories as you sleep, reflecting on gratitude before bed can actually strengthen those positive memories and make them more readily accessible. It's kind of like imprinting gratitude onto your subconscious. You wake up feeling more optimistic and appreciative. It's a simple but powerful way to cultivate a more grateful mindset. Maybe keep a gratitude journal by your bedside and jot down a few things each night, or simply take a few deep breaths and mentally list the things you're thankful for. It doesn't have to be elaborate, just intentional. It's a little act of self care that can have a big impact on your overall well being.
That's so good to know. Thank you so much for your very wonderful answer. So now could you please tell us that is it helpful to share one grateful moment each day with someone?
You're very welcome. And yes, absolutely. Sharing one great moment each day with someone is incredibly helpful. It's a beautiful practice. Not only does it reinforce your own feelings of gratitude, but it also brightens someone else's day and strengthens your connection with them. It creates a sense of shared positivity and joy. It's a simple way to spread kindness and build a more supportive community. Plus, hearing about someone else's grateful moment can inspire you to notice more good things in your own life. It's kind of like a little ripple effect of positivity. It's a way of acknowledging the good in the world and in each other. It's a reminder that even on tough days, there's always something to be thankful for. It could be with a partner, a friend, a family member, anyone. Just taking a moment to share that little spark of gratitude can make a world of difference.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for giving your well outlined and very spectacular answer. So now could you please tell us that how can volunteering teach us to be more thankful?
You're very kind. Uh, I'm glad you're finding these answers helpful. Okay, volunteering and gratitude, it's a powerful connection. When you volunteer, you're stepping outside of your own bubble and witnessing the challenges that other people face. Gives you a new perspective on your own life and helps you appreciate what you have. You're directly seeing the impact of your actions on others, which is incredibly rewarding and fulfilling. It fosters empathy and compassion. And when you're surrounded by people who are also dedicated to helping others, it creates a sense of community and shared purpose. It's kind of like a reminder of the inherent goodness in the world. It challenges you to think beyond your own needs and wants and focus on making a positive difference. It's a really humbling experience. And that humility, combined with the gratitude you feel for the opportunity to help can lead to a deeper sense of thankfulness for all the blessings in your life. It's not just about giving back, it's about gaining a new appreciation for what you already have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your well spectacular answer. So now, could you please tell us that can nature help us reconnect with gratitude?
You're very welcome and well suspected. That's a lovely way to put it. Yes, absolutely. Nature is a fantastic catalyst for gratitude. Spending time in nature, whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the mountains, or simply sitting under a tree, can be incredibly grounding and restorative. It reminds us of the beauty and wonder of the world around us, puts our own problems into perspective, allows us to disconnect from the stresses of daily life and reconnect with something bigger than ourselves. The sights, sounds, and smells of nature can evoke a sense of awe and appreciation, and that sense of awe is closely linked to gratitude. It's kind of like nature is a constant reminder of the abundance and generosity of the universe. It invites us to slow down, breathe deeply, and appreciate the simple things. It's a powerful antidote to negativity and a wonderful way to cultivate a more grateful heart. It's a free and readily available source of joy and inspiration.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for your well spectacular answer. So that's a very insightful and very well addressed answer. So now, could you please tell us that how can practicing gratitude boost your motivation?
You're very kind. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Okay, gratitude and motivation. It's a really interesting link. When you focus on gratitude, you shift your attention from what you lack to what you already have. And that could be incredibly empowering. It fosters a sense of optimism and resilience. When you're grateful for your strengths, your skills, and your opportunities, you're more likely to believe in your ability to achieve your goals. It reduces fear of failure because you realize that even if things don't go as planned, you still have plenty to be thankful for. It also boosts your energy levels and increases your sense of purpose. It's kind of like gratitude fuels your drive and inspires you to take action. It helps you see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to overcome. And when you feel motivated, you're more likely to persevere in the face of setbacks. It's a positive cycle. Gratitude leads to motivation, and motivation leads to more things to be grateful for. It helps you focus on the journey, not just the destination.
All right, thank you so much for your well contextualized answer. So now, my final question with you is: what's the difference between forced gratitude and real gratitude?
You're very welcome. And that's a fantastic final question. A really important distinction. Forced gratitude versus the real thing. It's huge. Forced gratitude is when you try to feel grateful, even when you don't. It's kind of like pasting a smile on your face when you're really sad. It might seem helpful on the surface, but it can actually be counterproductive. It can feel inauthentic and dismissive of your genuine emotions. It doesn't allow you to fully process your feelings, and it can even lead to resentment. Real gratitude, on the other hand, arises organic from a place of genuine appreciation. It's about truly noticing and savoring the good things in your life, even amidst challenges. It's not about denying your negative emotions, but about acknowledging them and then consciously shifting your focus to what you're thankful for. It's about feeling a sense of joy, contentment, and appreciation. It's a natural response to recognizing the goodness in your life. Forced gratitude is performative. Real gratitude is transformative. It's about allowing yourself to feel it, not just think it. And that difference is everything. Does that make sense?
That very much makes sense. Thank you so much for making this answer resonate, and that's the end of my question. So thank you so much for chatting with us, with me, and letting all of my viewers learn a lot from you. And thank you so much for chatting with me on the very wonderful topic of practical ways to practice gratitude. So have a good one, Mama, and I'll see you in another conversation.
You're very welcome. It was truly chatting with you and your viewers. I'm glad I could contribute to a conversation about gratitude. It's a topic I find deeply meaningful. And you have a wonderful day as well. And thank you, Mohammed. I look forward to speaking with you again sometime.
Just to let you know, my name is Hamza, not Muhammad.
Ah, you are absolutely right to call me out on that, Hamza. My apologies for the mistake. I'm still learning to get things exactly right. Thanks for the correction.
Thank you so much for chatting with us. Allah Hafiz.
Big time. It was a genuine pleasure.
Same to you. Thank you. Yes, guys. So that was my wonderful conversation with Miles from Sesame, on the very wonderful topic of how to of the practical ways of practicing gratitude. And that was my Sesame session for today. And till then, keep doing great things. Until then, I'll see you with another Sesame session.